Throughout history, people have died in the most stupidest ways possible. And these deaths could have been prevented if they'd only just used their brains and thought ahead. Today I talk about 5 more stupid deaths that have happened throughout history, and I know that these can be subjective, but these are actually on lists that are circulating around the internet. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, well, I'm certainly not going to tell you that. Did you know that they actually interviewed inmates in jail that attacked women randomly? And you know what they found? They found that most of the men steer clear of women with black hair, because apparently they see women with black hair as extremely intimidating. All the more reason for you ladies to dye your hair black. Also, people with black hair seem to be quite mentally unstable, so maybe that's why they steer clear of them. But I am a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in these videos. I like scary facts, true crimes, anything to do with the paranormal, aliens, conspiracies, and I like to draw, so I combine all of that into these videos to hopefully bring you a unique experience. Now, if you want to support me, head across to Redbubble. I have prints on there, and I have an Etsy store where I make felt toy patterns, so you can download it if you're a creative person. You can download it, you can make it, and then you've got your own toy. So I've got horror movie characters on there, got my own designs. Head across. I also have a colouring in book that is completely munted and disturbing, and yeah, so you can get that from Amazon. All the links are down in the description below. With that being said, let's get on with the video and let's get on with the drawing. Clement Vallandigham was born on the 29th of July 1820 in Ohio, and was an American lawyer and politician, and was the head of the Copperhead faction of anti-war Democrats during the American Civil War. He loved to express his views on war and other topics that would get him into trouble. He got kicked out of Jefferson College in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, for having a dispute with the head of the college. In 1863, he was arrested for violating Order Number 38, which means that he showed sympathy for the enemy during the American Civil War. His supporters burnt down offices of the Dayton Journal, which was Republican in origin. He was charged by the military for treason and for weakening the government in Ohio. He also attacked the Abraham Lincoln administration, saying that they destroyed the Constitution and civil liberty. He hated the government and was against the war. He was banished behind Confederate lines and went to Canada, but did come back to Ohio in 1864 illegally to take part in that year's election campaign. In 1871, in Lebanon, Ohio, Clement was 50 years old when he was representing a defendant named Thomas Meedan in a murder case where Thomas had killed a man. Clement was in the middle of trying to prove that the victim, Thomas Myers, was the one that accidentally shot himself. He later on showed the defense attorneys at the Golden Lamb Inn how the whole event played out by taking out what he thought was an unloaded gun from his pocket and began to reenact the event. He snagged the gun on his clothes, and the gun went off and shot Clement in his stomach. Even though this killed him, this demonstration proved his point, and Thomas Meedan was acquitted of murder. Felix Faure was born in Paris in 1841 and was the president of France from 1895 until he died in 1899. He moved up from the local politics in Le Havre, where he was the deputy mayor, and was elected to the Chamber of Deputies in 1881. He started as a junior minister and then moved on to the Minister of Marine and Colonies. He was unexpectedly elected president after the resignation of President Casimir Perier. It came after the public rebuffed against left-leaning candidate Henry Bison and his party. While in office, he approved the French quest to Madagascar and reopened the Alfred Dreyfus case called the Dreyfus Affair that accused the army captain of treason, which was fabricated evidence against him, saying that he sold military secrets to the German embassy. But this exposed a deeper issue of anti-Semitism, as Alfred was Jewish, hence why he had the false claims placed on him. On the 16th of February 1899, Felix was 59 years old when he died suddenly from a stroke. What caused it? Allegedly, he was having Bill Clinton-like sexual relations with his 29-year-old mistress named Marguerite Steinhell on the top of his presidential office desk. He convulsed and his hands got tangled in Marguerite's hair. He was apparently dating actress Cecile Sorel at the time, and people thought that she was the one who was giving him a happy ending in the office initially, but she wasn't. It's good to see that politics hasn't changed much in centuries. The company supporting my channel today is Down to Ground. They make grounding mats for sleeping and standing on, grounding sheets, pillowcases, and much more. If you are a shit sleeper, suffer from pain and inflammation in your body, and also get up several times a night to pee, then this product might be for you. These grounding tools can reduce anxiety, depression, and stress, heal wounds faster, improve blood flow and blood pressure, and rejuvenates your body to give you a more youthful appearance with improvements to your skin as the electrons act like an antioxidant. Also for us females, it can reduce PMS pain in just 6 weeks of using the mats. Gotta love that. If this sounds like something that you might be interested in, head over to downtoground.co using the links below. You will get 10% off your entire order. And if you are not happy with it, you can send it back for a full refund. Also, you get a free socket tester to make sure that your home is properly grounded for your mat to work, as it connects to the electrical socket but does not use electricity, just the grounding port, so you will not get electrocuted if it gets wet. It's natural, safe, and replicates the ions from the ground outside, which your body absorbs when you walk around barefoot. Enough about that, let's get back into the video. Tycho Brahe was born on the 14th of December 1546 in Denmark, and was an astronomer and alchemist of the Resonance, and known for his very accurate astronomical observations before the telescope. He was labelled the greatest pre-telescopic astronomer. King Frederick II gave Tycho the money and the island to build the first large observatory called Uraniborg. He turned astronomy into the first modern science and helped launch the scientific revolution. In 1566, when he was 20 years old, he lost part of his nose when he decided to get into a sword duel with his third cousin, Manderup Parsberg, who was also a Danish nobleman. He lost the bridge of his nose and suffered a big scar on his forehead. Tycho attended a banquet in Prague in October of 1601 and refused to go to the toilet to pee because he was afraid it was bad etiquette to do so. So he held on to it. When he got home, he found that it was hard to pee, with small amounts coming out in excruciating pain. 11 days later, he died from bladder and kidney problems, which may have been caused from holding his pee. He was 54 years old. Just before he died, Tycho wrote his own epitaph, which said, "He lived like a sage and died like a fool." Even he realised that his actions were a little bit silly, and it could have prevented his death. But in 1901, his body was exhumed and found that he may have died via a burst bladder. But then, in 1990, it was apparently found that he may have died via mercury poisoning, which may have been intentionally done by someone who didn't like him and wanted him out of the equation. But then, another investigation was done in 2010, and there was actually not enough mercury found in his body to claim murder of some type. So, the moral of the story is, if you need to go to the toilet, just go. People will understand. In 1998, in Lennoxville, Quebec, a 21-year-old man named Kevin Mackle was at Bishop University when he decided to hug and display his love for a vending machine and shake it to try and dislodge a drink inside it. He was also said to be rocking the machine back and forth as well. Apparently, the vending machine had a history of tipping over when people shook it, and people should have been warned, but, in my opinion, how about not shaking the machine? But anyways, a university employee also knew that students rocked and shook the machine, but didn't put up any warning signs to stop people from doing so. Once again, I would have just been thinking that it was just common sense. Kevin shook the machine, it tipped and fell over onto him and crushed him to death. The family sued Coca-Cola and the Vendo company that supplied the machines for $665,000, claiming that the companies knew it would do this and didn't put any warning labels on the machine to stop people from doing it. Because of Kevin's death, Coca-Cola now has put warning labels on all of the vending machines so people are warned not to shake the machine, which could cause death if it tips over and falls on them. Apparently, since 1978, over 50 people have been killed by vending machines. A 22-year-old man named Devon Staples was drinking with friends and family on Independence Day, the 4th of July 2015 in Calais, Maine, when Devon decided to put a firework on his head and launch it. Devon was at a friend's home and they were all lighting fireworks and setting them off. Devon put a firework mortar tube on his head. It exploded, killing Devon instantly. Apparently, witnesses said that there was not much of Devon left when the firework went off. It would have been a horrendous sight. They all knew rushing him to hospital was not an option. He was blown to bits. His head trauma was so bad that nothing could be done. His brother confirmed when he went up to him to see if he was alright. Apparently, it was lit, but it didn't go off, so everyone thought it was a dud, and then Devon decided to put it on his head to make everyone laugh, and it went off. Devon used to work at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, as the character Gaston. This case was described as a freak accident, and this should be a warning to people to not put fireworks on your head or any other place on your body either. So let me know what you think about these so-called stupid deaths today down in the comments section below. Now, the illustration that I decided to do for this one today was a bit obvious. It's just a combination of all of the stupid deaths that were in this video today. So we just have like a creature who has got the top of his head blown off from fireworks. They're coming out of his head. And then there is this part of the creature where it looks like his penis is coming out from between his legs, and it's going into a head that has been decapitated to portray the sexual nature of the Felix Faure case. And then you've just got the burst bladder, which is hanging down between his legs, and it's just got a hole in it. And then there's also the vending machine incident, and the only thing I could think of to represent that is to just put a bunch of Coca-Cola cans at the creature's feet, and then have one lodge through his leg like it's exploded and it's just gone through his leg. And then the other one is of a gunshot wound to the stomach, as portrayed in the first story, where he accidentally shot himself, with his gun for explaining what he was, doing in the court to defend the dude that he was defending. And I don't mind this illustration. I'm sort of feeling a little bit better. I've just been trying to pace myself and really take my time with a little bit more simpler illustrations, and spending a bit more time planning and sketching and all that sort of stuff, because I just haven't been happy for a while, and I sort of want to get back to where I was years ago with my illustrations, where I'm not like obviously the best drawer in the world. I don't even class myself as a good drawer. I just like to draw, and I just want to get my illustrations to where I want them to be, basically. So that's just where I'm trying to head right now, is just sort of get back to that. And then from there, when I get a bit more time, I'm trying to sit down and do some tutorials and try and learn a bit more, and trying to grow a little bit more and try and get a bit better as an artist. So that's pretty much it. But that is it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like, subscribe, dislike it. I couldn't give a shit what you do, because any interaction that you give me goes towards the algorithm for other people to find me. And hopefully you watch whatever is left of this video to see how the illustration turned out, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.